Hey, what's up guys? So Valentine just released the September 2025 update here for the V1 Gen 2, and I was very surprised to see that the main improvement here with this detector is actually support for photo radar detection, something that I wasn't even sure if this platform could properly support in the first place. And if you take a look at the release notes, they now support 6 different photo radar systems, and there's more actually coming down the line. And it's a different list than what we have with the Uniden and S-Core detectors. They've also added some sensitivity adjustments here for X-band and K-band, like we've got with Ka-band. They've also improved the Ka-band false alert filtering as well, and this update also adds support for apps to temporarily change the volume of the detector. Additionally, for those of you running their optional tech display, there's been an update for this as well to add some new features. For example, we now have the ability to turn off the resting display, and they've added an optional extended frequency display option to keep the frequency on screen a little bit longer, which is actually really nice. And so to better understand kind of all these new features that are available, let's go ahead and take a closer look now here at all these updates available for both the V1 Gen 2 and for the tech display. Now, if you take a look at Valentine's website, you're going to see this new red banner here at the top of the page where it mentions that the V1 Gen 2 now detects a variety of different K-band photo radar systems. And if we click here, it's going to give us some more information about how this all works. Now, if we scroll down, it's going to be discussing the new photo radar detection capabilities, and if you take a look at the display, it's going to have a new option here to display the letter P when it's actually detecting one of the different types of photo radar. Additionally, if you're running it with the app, it can also display the P, and it can also tell you which of the 6 different photo radar systems that it is alerting to. And then if you take a look, there's also going to be the option in the app to choose which of the different systems you want it to alert to based on what's in use in your area. And then there's also the option here at the top for Photo Verifier, which adds some additional false alert filtering similar to the K-band verifier. And if you keep scrolling down, they talk about the false photo radar alerts. Yes, you are going to get some false alerts on photo radar, just like you do on K-band and stuff. And so to help deal with those, they've got a couple options. They said the first line of defense against false photo radar alerts is to tune your photo radar coverage to our recommended local settings, which is going to be right here in this link. So you can actually look up which systems are available in your area. That's actually really nice. I haven't seen Escort or Uniden do that, so we'll take a look at exactly how this works here in just a second. They also mention that the second defense line is to turn on the photo verifier in our free app. You may get slightly less advanced warning of actual photo installations with photo verifier switched on. Again, it's going to be similar to the K-band verifier where you get fewer false alerts and less performance too. Now, if we click on this link here next, we can actually look up which systems are in use in different parts of North America. I'm here in Washington State, so I'll just pull this up here real quick. And if we take a closer look at some of these, you can see that here in Washington State, we've got some systems created by Ekin or Ekin, not sure how to pronounce it, but they look like this. We've also got some MRCT or multi-radar CT systems that look like this or like this. I actually have seen some like this in my area here, created by American Traffic Solutions, so I can actually do a little bit of testing with the V1 against like the Uniden and the Escort and just kind of see how they fare and see kind of what the photo verifier does. And I'm sure more people are going to be doing some testing with the systems they have in their area too. And they also mentioned that we've got some Redflex Halo systems that look like this throughout the state as well. Obviously, they're not going to be in every place in every part of the state, but this is kind of a nice idea, so you can take a look maybe at your state. You can see if we look at Georgia, for example, enabling the Ekin option can help detect some unsupported photo radar sources in your area. And it looks like MRCT, they actually do have some different variants that look a little bit different in Georgia as well. So again, you can just take a look at your state, and this is actually a pretty cool resource. And then if we go back here real quick to their photo radar detection page and we scroll down again to where we were able to look up, photo radar support for different states and provinces, they have a second link here for the tech report. And if we pull this up, they've got some additional technical information, which I really appreciate here about these different photo radar systems. Now that we're familiar with the background of photo radar detection, let's go ahead and take a look at all the new settings here available in the V1 and in the app. Now, you're going to need to update both the detector and the app itself. To update the detector, you're going to do it here with the app. It takes about 10 minutes or so to update using your phone. And then you're also going to want to go in and download the latest version of the app itself, which is available now from the App Store for both Android and iOS. Now, to access all the new settings, you're going to want to go up here to those 3 bars, kind of the hamburger menu. And then you're going to want to go in and take a look at your profile settings here in your detector. Now there should be a new option here for photo radar, but if it does not show up, like it's not showing up here for me, it's because you actually need to go and create a new profile. So I just created a new one here called testing, and you can see with this one, it now actually shows photo radar. So a quick heads up about that. If we tap on that, you can see now we have the options here for the different photo radar options. We've got our photo verifier, which we can turn on and off. There's also this little red eye, which is going to give us some additional information, basically saying it provides additional filtering to prevent false photo alerts. This filter may reduce photo detection range. We'll hit OK. And then you can go in here and just choose which ones you want to turn on and off. These are the ones that the website said are in use here in my area. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them on and start driving around and doing some testing here. You can, of course, set the ones here that are appropriate for where you drive. And then if we go back here like this, and then we go over to special, if we scroll down to the bottom here, you can see now we've got the option for not only adjusting the Ka band sensitivity to whatever kind of sensitivity level you want. I like to run it at full for maximum performance. We also now have the option here to adjust the K-band sensitivity and the X-band sensitivity. And if we go over here, you can see we've got the same three options: full, original, and relaxed. And if we hit that red eye, it gives us some information as far as the different sensitivity modes and some additional background and insight. And these are really going to be the main settings that are available here in the app. Again, you can see that we've got the new photo radar detection options, and we've got the adjustment levels for X and K-band. The rest of the stuff, like improved Ka-band, false alert filtering, and the ability for apps to change the detector volume, that's not something that we're going to be able to adjust in the detector settings. Next, for those of you running the optional tech display, let's take a look at the new features that have been added for that. Again, the first feature is going to be the ability to turn off the resting display, and the second feature is going to be adding an additional extended frequency display for the tech display 2. And to demo this, we'll head back into the app, and we'll go up here to the settings, and we're going to tap on tech display. And we've got these two new options here at the bottom, both for resting display and the extended alert frequency. So you can see right now the tech display is basically mirroring what I've got here on the V1 Gen 2. And if I want, I can turn off the resting display here like this. And now it's no longer actually showing which mode that I'm in. So if I want a little bit stealthier and more hidden, I can do that. But I've got it set up right now to show with the Bluetooth icon displaying instead, just to verify that it's actually turned on and running. Now the other option right now, here, I'll turn that on because I kind of like it, and I guess it's better for the video, so we'll turn that back. But the other option, if we take a look, is going to be the extended alert frequency. So if we go back to the main display here and we trigger an alert real quick, you can see everything is going to show up here on the V1, the tech display, and on the phone. I'll let off the trigger and let the alert ramp down and disappear. And you can see when it goes away, it's going to disappear from basically both the V1, the tech display, and on the app as well. Now, it's definitely possible to where for a brief alert, you can miss it and you're like, what was the frequency of that signal? Well, if you want that, because it's not actually continuing to display it on the app or anything like that, if we go back over here, we'll go ahead and enable extended alert frequency, and we'll save that. And now if we trigger a brief alert, you can see we're going to get the same information here displayed everywhere. However, on the tech display, the frequency is going to last there for like an additional 2 seconds, just so you've got that extra little chance here to see the frequency if you need it, which is definitely a nice touch. Now, you're also going to have to update the tech display just like you've had to update the detector and the app to support the new features. It takes less than a minute or so to update the tech display, and it'll actually say on the tech display itself that it's in the process of upgrading. I originally tried updating it on iOS, and it failed both times that I tried. The V1 was fine, but I couldn't update the tech display, and so for that reason, I actually had to grab my Android to update it, and that worked just fine. So let me know if you guys update your tech display, if you're able to update properly on iOS or on Android too, for that matter. And so that's a look at the new improvements and changes here with both the V1 and the tech display. Now, when it comes to the photo radar detection, the reason that I mentioned at the beginning that I'm surprised to see that here is because when I interviewed Mike Valentine when the V1 Gen 2 first came out, and if you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link to it down in the description, or you can click the button on screen. I asked him about photo radar detection, and he basically said that it's not really a priority, especially because they don't have them in the area in Cincinnati, where the company is based. And so that always kind of seemed like a bit of a weakness for the detector, and it wasn't really clear on whether or not this platform could actually detect it in the first place because it wasn't designed for that. Now, I know there have been people who have found that if you disable the K-band filtering, well, there are some photo radar systems that this will alert to, but that's never been a practical approach for 2 reasons. Number one, if you disable the K-band filtering, you're going to get a ton of false alerts. And so for most people, that's not going to be a a reasonable way to actually run the detector. And number two, there was no unique identifier to say, hey, this is photo radar and not one of the 10,000 other K-band falses that you're going to get with the filtering disabled. And it looks like they've actually solved both of those issues here with this new update. So number one, not only is it, well, designed for photo radar detection without having to disable the filtering, and they've added some additional filtering like the photo verifier option. But number two, it can actually uniquely identify photo radar by displaying a P on the face of the detector itself, or if you're running the app, it'll also tell you which of the 6 different systems it's alerting to. Now, something I'm really curious about is they mentioned that it can detect MRCT, but it's not designed for the older MRCD. And I'm really curious if people who have MRCD in their area could try testing with MRCT to see if it winds up also alerting for MRCD as well. There's currently no support for some systems like the mesh diffusion that we see with some of the competitive detectors. And so different detectors are alerting to different systems. And over on the forums, I've actually been compiling a list of where the different types of photo radar systems are in use in different states and in different provinces. I'll link to this for you in the description as well. It's not a perfect or complete resource, but over the years, a lot of us have been contributing to what we're finding and just kind of keeping it in one central location there. And I really like the fact that Valentine is offering something similar on their website. So you can just punch in your state and see exactly which of the photo radar systems that it can detect are in use in your area. And lastly, I think this is also really big for Valentine as a company because, well, as you know, Mike Valentine unfortunately passed away about a year ago now. And since then, there's been a lot of questions about the health and future of the company. You know, will it continue without him? There are other engineers that are available there that are working on stuff, but like Mike is obviously no longer at the company. In fact, if you call the company right now, Mike actually picks up and there's a recording of him saying, you know, sorry, we're understaffed. Nobody's available to answer your call. Please try again later. And then it just hangs up on you. You can't even leave a voicemail. And so for a while now, people have been very understandably concerned of like, well, are we going to keep seeing updates and improvements here? Is the company can continue to be around without him or not? And I think with the release of this firmware update, one of the biggest things, besides the fact that, well, they've kind of closed the gap with the competition to add the photo radar detection and they've made some improvements and stuff, is just the fact that we're continuing to see updates and improvements here with the detector itself. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what this means a year, 2, 3 years down the line with further improvements and developments or anything, but I'm definitely glad to see that we've got an update here for the detector because, well, unfortunately, Mike is no longer with us, but they're continuing to release the updates, which is definitely a good and reassuring thing moving forward. But of course, we're going to have to see as time rolls on what we can expect long term. But either way, that's a look here at the updates here for the detector and for the tech display. If you want to pick up any of these, I'll have links down in the video description to where you can order them. As you're doing your own testing, definitely hop on over to the forums and share your experiences and feedback as well. That's usually the central place where we're all sharing our findings, or you can, of course, post down in the comment area to this video as well. But either way, that's a look here at this latest update. I want to go out and do some testing with primarily the photo radar detection to see if the ones that look similar to what they've posted in their pictures are actually the same ones that this one can detect. So I'll try it out. And of course, other people will be testing with the different photo radar systems in their area. We'll be doing testing with the different K-band sensitivity options to see kind of what impact that has. So again, over on the forums, that'll be the best place for moving forward. I think everybody can kind of like share their findings and we can all kind of learn together. And so with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you in the next one.